Hello students, welcome to my channel Mind Your Exam. In this video, we will learn how we can specify the default value of a particular attribute in SQL and how can we do that using the alter command of data definition and modification language in SQL. So default value basically means that if an attribute is allowed to store empty or blank or null values and the user has not specified any particular value for an entity in that particular attribute, then if we specify the default value of the attribute, this default value will be stored instead of blank entry. Okay, so for example, if you have a student table and the student date of birth is allowed to have a default value. That means if while storing the values in the student date of birth, somebody has skipped the value of the date of birth for a particular student, then if we have already specified the default value for that attribute, then instead of storing blank or empty in that particular entry, default value will be stored. So let's see what is the syntax of doing this in SQL. So firstly, you need to specify that which table's attribute you are changing, and you have to specify the name of the table here, and before that you are using the alter table keywords. Then since you are modifying or changing a particular attribute of that table, you specify the modify keyword followed by the name of the attribute that you want to modify. And like we saw in the last video also, whenever we use the modify keyword, we also have to specify the data type of the attribute. Okay, whether we are changing the data type or not, but we have to specify the data type of the attribute that is followed by the attribute name. So you have specified the name of the table, you have specified the name and data type of the attribute that you want to modify. After that, you specify the default keyword. Default keyword tells SQL database that the user is trying to set up a default value for this particular attribute. And what is that value? The last entry, the last value specified in this SQL query. So suppose, like the example I took, we have a student relation in which there is an attribute named student date of birth stored with the name of SDOB. Okay, so how will you specify a default value for this? Firstly, you will write alter table followed by the name of the table, which is student. Then you specify the modify keyword, the name of the attribute that you want to modify, which is S date of birth, followed by what is the data type of this attribute. While creating the table in the previous videos, we specified the date data type for this attribute. Now you specify the default keyword and the default value that you want to set for this particular attribute. So if any particular student, if there is any entry in the student table for a particular student such that that student's date of birth is not present or not entered or left blank, then in that case the default value will be stored in the attribute SDOB. Okay, so I hope you have understood this topic for the default value and setting up in SQL. Thank you for watching. I hope you have understood all the concepts that we have studied till now in SQL. If there are any doubts, you can mention us in the comment section below. Also, if there are any other queries or particular topics that you want to study on this channel, please let us know. We'll try our best to bring those videos to you as well. Thank you for watching. Till we meet in the next video. Mind your exam.